This is how much we know about movies. We just if you want a raw review of movies, you're getting it right here because we don't know shit.
Dad! Fuck, I don't know, man. Is that like nostalgia purposes for kids these age?
I don't give a shit. I don't care.
We get that, Pop.
Fine, I'll Google it through the magic
you don't
of podcasting.
have to Google it. I'm just saying, just take it out.
No.
Not bring it out, or just be better prepared.
Shut your fucking mouth.
I am your father.
Man, sometimes I wish like things would stay at a simpler time mentality.
Welcome to the Two Dads Review podcast. Like, wait a second, that's what your guys' shit was? Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You can't do
I've
that.
Seen that. That's hilarious.
No, I'm talking about your face.
Oh, it didn't show up on my side. I didn't know you could see me yet.
I can see you, and that was. You gotta prep me for that shit.
Nah, man. Just take it in.
Ugh.
Right? It's gross.
Oh, it went away. Oh, wow. Now it's back.
It's back. It's back.
I feel like I should go shave my face down just so you don't feel bad. Why'd you shave it off? Just tired of it for a while? I mean, especially now that it's like getting ready to be like really winter.
Nah, man. Brody's last like soccer game, I was outside like coaching it, and like I just got like windburn across my face, like so bad. Like I kept putting lotion in my beard, and it was like the dry skin underneath it, like at the root, like the hair was like, yes, and it never made it to the roots, and it was like, oh god, I'm gonna peel my fucking face off. So I was like, I just have to shave. Like I have to shave and then take like whatever layer of frozen skin and fucking take that off and shit. And like my whole fucking face right now, dude, is just like, it's not on fire or anything, but it feels weird. I hate it. I can't fucking stand it. I know I look like an ungodly human turtle thing. Like it's not pleasant to look at.
What'd you do to your head?
I fucking nicked it on some shit, and it just was like sharp enough to take a little top layer of like flesh off when I was
doing the stuff in the bathroom.
Yeah, doing the shit in the bathroom. Like I didn't even fucking notice it until like I went in, and it was just that like that blood where you can see it kind of like come through all the pores, right? But it doesn't really like take off running unless you like squeeze it or something. So I just threw like some toilet paper on it, and was like, all right, well, I'm gonna look like I have like road rash on my fucking forehead for a little bit.
I hate that, especially as a bald guy. Well, you don't have it where your hair is, but I hate when I shave my head and then I nick it on something. And I'm like, well, can't shave my head for like 3 weeks until this finally heals. And like I did that when I was doing those shelving the glass doors on the bookshelf upstairs in the main floor.
Yeah, and
like I stood up from like the last shelf, and the middle shelf and the whole rack of them is like it's there, like screwed in, and it's part of the stability. So it wouldn't be like bonk, I bunked my head and the shelf moved. No, it's there, and I hit it and just like scalped myself, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So this is gonna blow.
Yeah, that's no fun at fucking all. Jeez. But like the worst part about the whole thing is like, since my face was like, obviously it was already dry enough that being out there for an hour and a half in the like cold wind, it was like throwing deuces up and double middle fingers at me at the same fucking time, right? So like I know I hadn't been taking care of it the way I should, especially for as like long as I normally like keep my beard on a regular basis.
Right.
And but the worst part is I got windburn, and then I had to shave that windburn, and so now it's just like an odd mix of some razor burn because I used the fucking safety razor, and like that thing's just unforgiving, even though it says safety on it. And it's like, nah, homie, you fucking tilt me wrong, I'm still taking a chunk of something with me. I'm safer than a straight razor, but don't get me wrong, like I'm sharper than fuck.
Right.
And
do you use the safety razor like where you unscrew the bottom and put the blade in it?
Yeah.
Or you use like the yellow Bic? Like so okay, you use the same thing I use when I shave. You know what I've gone to in my old age now? when it comes to shaving my head, like just like to get like, you know, after a couple days growth, just run this bad boy over it. It's like it takes it right back to like the day after you shave. It's great.
Yeah, I probably need to invest in it. Like, I can't use those things on my beard because, like, it just fucks my face up. You know, it's like not worth it. I'm like, hey man, you may cut my face short, but I also feel every one of those spinning razor blades on my face afterwards. But on the top of my head, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an old company commander that from when I was in the Corps, like he was always shaved like that, like his head shaved, and he was at my dad's house one time. We were there for a golf tournament. He was playing the tournament with us, and I asked him, I was like, so do you bick it or do you bick it? Do you use a straight razor? What do you do? And he's like, no, I use electric razor. I was like, really?
He's like, nah, I'm a man, boy. I shave it with a knife. Nah, man. Electric razor. Electric razor, homie.
He's like, I gave that shit up a long time ago.
Oh, dude, you know who Karl Malone is, right?
Like the basketball player?
Yeah, but also you may know him. You may know him because he like was a huge wrestling fan, and he like he tag teamed with like Diamond Dallas Page and shit like that.
I watched it back then.
But probably like a year or two ago, he was giving an interview on one of the sports, you know, talk shows like Sports Nation or some shit, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And like he's one of those dudes that has a ridiculously clean shaving head like all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I never kind of like respected that until I was like bald and understanding that like maybe his hair doesn't grow back as quickly as mine does in like certain situations, but like it's a bitch. And then you're like, well, I can't really grow it out because it just looks fucking stupid. Like in any way, like not even just like I keep my hair buzzed. It's like, nah, man, like my shit's bald enough in the middle that even when it's buzzed, it's like I can still tell you're bald. Like I might as well just shave it all off. It's like naked or like a day. Like that's it. Like that's where my head needs to permanently stay at. But he was given an interview and the guy goes, man, you know, your head is smooth, dude. Like, how do you keep it that smooth? And Karl Malone goes, I shave it with my knife. And the guy's like, you know, bullshit. And Karl Malone is like, grew up on a farm. Like, he's like farm strong. And he's like, nah, man, I keep it real sharp. Just shave it with my knife. And I'm like, I don't know if he's like country fucking with him or if Karl Malone, I mean, he is just like that badass of a dude. Like he's that physically freak of a specimen, even at like fucking 50 or whatever he is now. You know, like I wouldn't put it past him. Like it seems like something he may do. And I always think about that, like, man, if I shaved my head with a knife, I would be fucking dead. You would see bone somewhere. Like I'd be like, all right, I got this, and I'd go to like turn, especially as sharp as his knife would have to be, and I would have just fucking filleted like I was checking the fucking temperature of a goddamn steak.
Well, and let's not forget that you and I are both bald-headed by choice. Well, actually, not by choice, by necessity. Because I was tired of like bald spots in pictures on Facebook and shit. So I was like, you know what? Nope. I'm tired of trying to get things to go and make it look like I have hair. So I'm getting rid of all of it. That's it. I'm done. I quit.
Yeah, like I could probably technically, if I wanted to suffer through the personal humiliation, I could probably get most of my hair long enough, and I'm taller than most people, that like just I could be that guy that if you look at from the front or the sides, it looks like I still have like some solid hair and a comb over. But then as soon as there was that odd like, oh, I ran my fingers through my hair or the wind blew or something like that, you'd be like, oh shit, that motherfucker is doming it up top. Like, damn. And I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. So I just started shaving it. And I mean, and I also shaved my head before. I just like it like that. But now I'm at the point where I want all of it to die. Like the middle has given up. I'm like sides. Like you lost your Hall of Famer. Like the rest of the team needs to retire, man. Like what was once there, you guys had a solid run. But shit was traded. Players quit. Like we were retired. Like you got to give the fuck up, dude. And it's like, nah, man, we'll always be here for you. And I'm like, I don't want you to. Hey, I'm fire sailing the team. Get the fuck out. Go.
I'm in the same boat. Every time I shave, it's like the top takes no time at all, which also makes me wonder how I ever had hair like in the middle and front in the first place. I was always going bald back like in the Friar Tuck area. Like I had that going for me. That was always going bald. But then like up here, I don't even know. There's nothing. Like if it tries to grow back there, there's nothing. I don't even know what it is. And like, but the sides, I'm with you, man. The sides, it's like I can't. Like that's the worst place. I'm like, can you just stop? Just stop.
Yeah, dude, like I would rather it just where my bald spot is. I would rather that be the only section of hair that grows on my head at this point. Because at least if I just wanted to be weird, I could just grow that out and then just put like a big fucking braid in it or something. And I don't know, like dress up as a Shaolin monk every fucking year for Halloween or whatever. Like,
exactly.
I could do something with that. But the way your hair grows when it's Friar Tuck style, it's like you either be a fat Friar Tuck and just get the fuck over it, or you just go bushwhack that shit like every other week because you're like, all right, man, I'm not shaving this every day because fuck that. But then like 3 days go by and you're like, I can handle that. And then like a week later you look at it and you go, nah, man, that doesn't look good for anybody. What if I leave the house?
Yeah, right. I mean, could I at least go bald like Patrick Stewart? Cool. Like that side is okay because everything is like shiny, glistening down the middle, and you have this nice, close cropped gray around the sides. Like he pulled it off. We should be able to pull that off, but it's not even that nice.
Yeah, but we also don't have like his like build. Like he's like an oval shaped face dude, right? Like his chin comes down to like a point. Like you and I are both very much of the like chipmunk or gumball roundness variety, right? You know, like I don't have a distinguished chin, but when I have a beard, I have a neck, I have a face, and I have a chin. Like, but as soon as that goes away, like as soon as I take the beard off, dude, it's like straight neck to nose. Like, and there just happens to be a mouth in the middle, man. Like I am not a predominantly strong chin man, you know, but like he's got a chin, and then he also like his voice helps.
Well, the British accent helps with anything, anywhere, at any time.
Yeah, but even then, it's not like, okay, dude, like he couldn't have a Cockney accent and look like that. You'd be like, this dude's fucking bonkers. Like, all right,
he's like Shakespearean.
Yeah, but he also has like just a gentle voice in general, right? Like you're like, yeah, man, I would listen to that guy. Like, that guy seems pretty fucking common all the time. So, like, he's got all of that going for him. Like, even if our hair grew like that, and it just never grew longer than that, it's like, oh, hey, I'll fucking break in half for you, so you don't even have to do anything. We would still look dumber and shit and be like, nah, man, I gotta shave this shit off. Like, thank you guys.
Want to stay?
Appreciate the help, but you gotta get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, we do not look good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We'll leave that in. We'll just talk about our hair, our baldness for 15 minutes. That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Might as well, dude. I look like a turtle without its fucking shell right now, or like a goddamn thumb with a face. Like, it's bad, man.
For anybody who listens, who's just finding us, we do our podcast over Hangouts, and so he turns his camera on after we're talking without giving me any pre-warning into that, which is what sparked all of this conversation. So I'm stuck staring at this for the next 2 hours. Be lucky you're not in my spot.
Hey, maybe this will make it a quick podcast. You're just
I gotta rush through this thing.
I'm fucking out of here. Like, I'm done. I gotta get the hell off. I can't do this anymore. You're a disgusting human.
Our schedule made it so we are recording this the night of the finale. So we'll be reviewing episode 9, the pre-finale episode, right now. And tonight, literally as we hang up from this podcast and hit save, I'll be watching the finale and tweeting about it and all that good stuff. But let's get through 9 with you first. Except I'm not sure how I want to talk about this. So have you watched Outlaw King on Netflix yet?
No.
Chris Pine?
Nope.
It was literally, it stirred up a whole bunch of shit in the media before it came out because it was like previewed at like one of the film festivals, and like Chris Pine does a full frontal, like the whole kit and caboodle. Like And it was played up like it was this big like this big awesome like Chris Pine's penis, great, awesome, and of course my wife's like, okay, we'll be watching that movie when it comes out, and I was like, yes, we will. And
you're like I'm a dick gazer too, so I was like, let's get it.
Let's little meat gazing. So
the more you know, Starflies,
So we watch it, and well, first like a lot of the press about it too. He was kind of like, why am I getting all this press that I was full frontal, but my co-star, the actress, like no one cares that she's naked? Like, is that? He's like, why is that fair to her? Like, shouldn't we be giving her as much props as you guys are giving me for having the wherewithal to bear it all for everybody? So he had some press about it. So we watched it, and the worst part was like where it happened. It was like he was coming out of the water like Little Mermaid style, and it was like shadows beyond shadows, and to the point where, all right, I don't know who listens to this with their kids in the car, but this is about to get real detailed and gross about something else, but
I don't think
still
anybody
related.
that
God, don't let your kids listen to this.
This on a regular basis, like, does not have a child any fucking where near this thing.
Yeah. If the language isn't enough, this is about to drive it over the edge. So, in the season 1 of True Detective, there is a scene where Alexandra Daddario is...
Yeah, you see her naked, and she's getting
and
all
then you
sexy
see her like nice and naked, and she also like goes to get up off of Woody Harrelson, and like in the show, it's darkened and it's not quite as noticeable, but there's enough. There's a swing in like the bar graph of dudes who like are lonely, like in their mom's basements with a whole lot of friggin' video equipment, and have the time and the effort to like lighten this thing up all the way to the point where like you can see everything detailed about everything on her. And I was like, the problem is that on the Chris Pine side, like I think the group of folks who are enjoying looking for that is not nearly as robust and populated as the other folks that are looking at Alexandra Daddario all the time. So the effort of someone like lightening that to like show everybody what they wanted to see from the Chris Pine scene is just not happening at the speed at which my wife would like it to happen. And me to a certain extent, I'm just saying. So I was like, honey, I'm sorry, it may never happen. Like, there's not a whole bunch of like, I mean, there's just not that the amount of people who are sitting there lightening a video like frame by frame is way minor compared to what would happen to the True Detective episode. So it's just not happening. Like, you're not going to get it. If you do, it'll be a long time from now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't want to be like, there's a lot more fucking guys that are nerds that don't ever get any pussy that sit in their mom's basement and lighten it, but it's kind of really what happens. Like, it really is. I mean, it's horribly crass to say, but
the worst part is, dude, like, at this fucking point, man, it's not even like nerds that sit in the basements. Like, every one of these fucking people knows how to like Photoshop to a certain degree now at this point, dude. Like, it's everywhere from like 13-year-olds to fucking project managers, man, that are just horny. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. Like, dude, just dudes are just dirtier. Like, that's just all there's to. Like, women, when it comes down to it, like, on a more close connected with the person, is dirty as fuck. Like, they'll get down and do some really kinky ass shit for a person they really fucking like, and if if that's what the person's into it. But dudes in general are just dirty. Like, I saw a video on Twitter that was, this is why like men are called dogs and we say, well, you'll fuck anything. And it's like a dude like about to hop in the back of a pickup truck with what is a very obvious naked crackhead, and this dude's like pulling his shit out, and like his buddy's filming it, and I'm like, this is where it's all come. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, I mean, I know people banging crackheads and getting off in weird fucking ways has been going on forever, but it's like the fact that one of your homies now is like cool enough just for you to go like, hey man, record this real quick and then shoot it over to me, like, or so he can fucking post it about it. Like, what the fuck, man? Like,
right,
dudes are broken on a genetic fucking level at this point, man. Like it is. There needs to be a massive staged correction somewhere. like we gotta really hope that a few dudes who got it, that have always been like stand-up dudes that haven't been idols that have fallen, have secretly like pushed along their spawn to women who have agreed to like help fucking fix things. Because in general, guys are just broken now, man. Like, we got so fucking far ahead of the food chain with everybody else. They're like, we don't know what wrong in general is anymore. It's like, it's weird, dude. Because like when you're talking about like the whole like the fact that it was a vagina versus a penis, and like you get that astronomical amount of difference on like who's posted or how many times it's been shared or whatever, dude. Like, and I get it, like, dudes aren't always going to be openly like, yeah, man, I checked a dick out. So, like, I don't know, they're not going to be logged in to count statistics or something like that because there's still this weird alpha male thing going on. And, like, women are like, hey, I like boobs. I like vaginas too, man. Like, what of it? And everybody's kind of like, yeah, lesbians. Like, that's cool. I watch that porn. Like, that's okay, you know, and I'm cool with that. But, like, if you're a gay guy, it's like, that's... I don't know how I feel about that as a straight white male. Why do you give a fuck, dude? Like, it's a dick. You looked at it. You were like, hey, you were curious. Were you bigger than a fucking movie star? You know you were. Like, so be about it, man. But yeah, dude, it's fucking... Like, I'm glad you pointed that out.
Why is that?
Well, because it's just... The fact that you were like, the speed in which a photo was, like, rendered of someone famous naked... You know, and the other end of the spectrum where, like, even because it's weird too, because there's not a lot of penis unless it's in porn. Like, you just don't see dick on TV,
right? Which is why this made. I mean, for a good amount of internet time, which is like days, but for a good amount of time, there's a lot of talk about this, and he was being asked about it, and it's like, oh man, like you went full frontal, like wow, way to go, dude! Like that's ballsy of you, no pun intended. You know, it's like. And but female co-stars are expected. It's supposed to be a dime a dozen. It's supposed to be Game of Thrones out there. Just whip it out, you know, titties and ass everywhere.
That's because every dude's like fucking so insecure about their dick. Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Game of Thrones has its share of dick in it too. So,
well,
I mean,
yeah,
but not compared to.
But I also feel like everyone that acts in Game of Thrones is either, pretty on board with like equal rights. Or they're so fucking cool in general that they're just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, all right, let's do it. You know, like there's none of this like, hey, man, good on you for showing your dick. You know, like slow clap going around. Like they're all filming and freezing out in the snow. And I bet you at a certain point it almost became like the women were like, really? You're going to bitch about something? And then like a group of guys were like, yo, dude, we better man the fuck up. Like, all right, Jon Snow, go get naked in that ice cave. Like, you're fucking starting this off, man. Let's make this happen, right? You know, whatever it was. But yeah, like,
yeah.
Now I just can't. Like, now I just wish I was a fly on the wall for like when those conversations of anything. Like, you know, even when like Michael Fassbender, you know, like bared it all in his movie and shit like that. Like, hey. We're going to need you to show your dick. Like, what was the initial reaction of every guy? Because I bet you a majority of the women, like, that have already read the script and signed on to it were either like, okay, they knew that was coming, and that's how they read the script as well, or they just knew nudity was going to be called. Like, everybody up front was like, hey, by the way, if you're going to fucking play one of these ladies in the book, there are times where they are literally naked 3/4 of the fucking chapter. By the way, each chapter is 500 pages. Da 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 da. You know, like, so they kind of knew about it. But like a guy, I guarantee would almost always be taken back. Like, you want me to do what? How much prep time do I get? Like, you know, like, do I get a small workout routine real quick? Right. You know, like,
you know, that brings up another topic that I really do not want to get into whatsoever.
Is it going to be a balmy 95 in there? Like I just stepped out of the shower.
Right. So when you're deciding to become an actor, is one of the first things you have to go, okay, I can be an actor because I'm a shower, not a grower. Because if you're a grower, not a shower, you can't be. Is everyone in Hollywood a shower? Because ain't nobody. There's only one person I've ever seen do nudity in Hollywood as a male who was a grower, and it was the dude in Super Troopers when he was getting talked and sprayed down, and I was like, oh man, you're a grower for sure, bro. I was like, I'm not sure I'd put that, like, I'm not putting myself on in front. I was like, how is everybody in Hollywood, because you have to walk a fine line, because the other bad thing in Hollywood is you can't show a boner. Like, you can't show, fully ready to rock and roll. That's God forbid, oops, we show that.
Well, see, like, which is funny, like, because you're so illustrating my point of, like, everybody being so insecure. Like, you're like, fuck that, man. Like, I wouldn't do it, like, I wouldn't give a shit, me personally. But I also feel like if I was going to ever have the chance to be a professional actor, like, let's just say that was in the cards, I wouldn't do sex scenes. Like, I just wouldn't do them. Like, one, I don't think I could probably have any attractive person in the world dry hump me or fucking kiss me on my neck or anything and not be uber fucking aroused. Like, I'm just not built that way. I'm like, sorry, man. Like, you're really attractive and I don't give a fuck what this scene says. Like, I still feel everything. Like, we better numb me head to fucking toe. Like, give me a Vicodin or something, because that is too much. Not built to handle that shit. Definitely not built to handle that on fucking camera. Like, right?
This flesh colored sock is not ready for this.
Yeah, but like, if it was like, hey, there's a scene where you get out of the shower and you're a dude that fucking just air dries, so you're standing there naked. All right, like, I could do that. Like, I don't give a shit. Whatever, Or hey, you were thrown out butt naked in the fucking snow and you got to find your way back and you're going to be freezing your ass off. Like, not ideal. I'll do it. Sex scene, not happening, man. Can't fucking do it. Like, I don't think I could take it serious. Like, I just don't think I could ever get into the frame of mind. I'd be like, there's no fucking way, dude. Like, I am too laid back for this. Like, I can't get into this. This is way too fucking weird for me.
And that is the only thing keeping you from Hollywood. Mm-hmm. You're like, I could do the rest of this shit, no problem. But because of sex scene, I've chosen not become an actor.
Yeah, pretty much. That was exactly where I was going with that. I also know I couldn't memorize the lines.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'd be straight up like
Winter Soldier, dude.
Nope, I know I'd blank. Even older than that. Hold on. Marlon Brando. I would be exactly like Marlon Brando, who notoriously through his career had to like have note cards taped in places that he would be looking for the scene because he would never memorize his lines. In fact, like in Superman, whichever Superman he was in, like they had the lines like written on the baby Clark Kent, so he could read his lines while talking to the baby. Like, he was notorious. There are guys in why am I fucking blanking tonight?
I don't know, man. You're fucking swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss, dude.
Yeah, the only way I'd be able
there were guys in Godfather who, like, as they're doing the over the shoulder to look at Brando, are holding the card for him against their chest, like as he's talking to the other character, like the other actor. They're like, Jesus, Marlon, God, just fuck. Learn your lines, man.
But I guess, like, when you're that fucking famous at that point, like, and just the fact that your name alone would carry a movie.
Right. I don't have to.
You're like, dude, hey, I did all that shit. I did. And now I don't fucking want to anymore. You're just lucky. I'm literally lucky I'm even here.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it was. To some extent, absolutely. But yeah, he was notorious for it. So.
Yeah, I'd be like, you got to give me keywords that I need to say, and then, like, tell me, like, what kind of mood this guy's going to be in. Because, if it's like, Patrick says to Trisha, yada, 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 I'd be like, dude, not going to fucking happen. There's no way I'm going to memorize that shit. Not built.
Right.
Not built for it.
Let's see. So what else happened this week? So some sad news for people who are listening right away. This is the week that our great Marvel superhero originator Stan Lee died. That sucks.
Yep.
95, I think. So, I mean, good on him. World War II vet, also, by the way, if you didn't know that, since it's Veterans Day weekend was last weekend. So, when he was wearing that World War II veterans hat in one of the Iron Man movies,
that was his.
It may have actually been his, which is awesome. It makes that story even better than when he was drinking with Thor. Mm-hmm. You cannot handle this. It was aged in something for thousands of years. So that sucks. What else is going on? They announced that Game of Thrones, the final season, is premiering in April. They didn't give us a date. They just gave us a month. So we know that...
Who even cares at this point? Like, we knew we were going to get it in 2019, and they've already gone and said, hey, we're going to make Game of Thrones 2.0. We're going to go back in time. Like, I don't even give a fuck about the final season almost anymore. Like, I mean, I'm going to watch it, but
you will for this podcast. You're goddamn right you will.
now I'm way more curious about all the old White Walker shit and elves and like,
hey,
the cool mythical crap that was going on. I just don't think they can fuck it up. It's not going to be like a spinoff like Joey was of Friends.
Yeah, right. I mean, as HBO, you've spent literally millions of dollars on wardrobe and set design and things like that. So as long as you've kept a lot of that stuff still good, then you've eliminated half the budget from the next from whatever spinoff you do. Because it's 1,000 years ago, but we're still in medieval style times, so it's not like things are going to change that much. Really.
Yeah, well, plus like half of these houses are like from 1,000 generations ago, anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell, most of them home like and the way the history of that show goes, hell, half of those castles may have fucking been there.
Well, yeah, half the locations in some way, shape, or form actually exist in the real world. Like, you can go visit this castle. It doesn't look exactly like it does in the show, but the main middle part or the main this part is actually there, which, a lot of them are. So it makes it, they have to travel to these different locations to do it, but it is there. So it's not that big of a deal. But so we know Game of Thrones final season is in April. So this podcast, we'll cover it then. We'll cover it every week, just like we're doing American Horror Story now. We'll do Discovery, Star Trek Discovery premieres. Season 2 starts January. How do I not have it written down? I knew January sometime.
It's just fucking comical at this point.
It is, really. Discovery starts January 17th. So that'll be nice. We actually may get to roll like right in from Discovery with like a couple weeks break right into Game of Thrones. So that'll take care of like half of 2019 already. I'm good with that. It's hard enough for us to figure out what are we going to do after episode 10 of American Horror Story. Do we even have a plan for like the holiday season?
No.
Should we do holiday movies? Like, should December be? I mean, should the rest of November and December be like Christmas movies, like National Lampoon, Christmas Vacation, like maybe some Christmas horror ones? Even though we did do a Christmas one for our little horror thing. Like, should we do some Christmas stuff? I don't even know. We haven't even really talked about it. Should we have this conversation on the air?
It doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm not feeling any Christmas movie.
Okay, well, that kills that idea. Anybody listening that has any ideas, tweet at us at Two Dads Review on Twitter. Just do that. Tell us, hey, we want you to review this movie, review that movie. We'll do it. That's great. We got to find something to fill the time between the TV shows. If there's a good TV show like starting that would end before, like one of those short like 6-7 episode shows that would like start now and then end before January 17th, I would just pick that up. But I have to go back and look. I don't know. It's such a hard job picking stuff for us to do.
Yeah, what to watch this week and talk about.
Yeah, right. So anyways, let's see. So episode 9 of American Horror Story, Fire and Rain. I have to admit, some of our predictions from last week, we actually kind of got right for this episode. And give me your thoughts, just kind of fresh out of the box, like on your overall thoughts on the episode, because I have some of my own, but I want to hear yours first.
I'm tired of reviewing American Horror Story, man. Like, I feel like after watching this episode, it's just going to be one of those things where everything we saw was a what could have been kind of thing, because...
Are you mad because they're going to introduce time travel and they're going to reset everything back to like okay?
Well, I mean, that's their like that's their only way out at this point with what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just like, so what? You're going to have like this crazy, you guys stand off, send Mallory back real quick to keep Michael occupied, and then as the fight's going on, like all of a sudden he just phased the fuck out, like Back to the Future. You know, they're all waving their Polaroid real quick, like, oh shit, he's not here. Like, man, fuck off. It's such
you hate time travel.
Such a cheesy way out. Like, I don't mind the time travel. Like, it's just...
Is there a chance that it doesn't work? Is that too on the nose for, like, a horror show, for a show that's supposed to be not a happy ending type show? Are we supposed to expect it to work out, but because it's American Horror Story, also expect it not to work?
No, I think it's gonna work out. I mean, it would be kind of cool if they, like, were like, nah, fuck y'all. Michael won anyways, you know? But no, I think it's gonna work out. Like, it's just almost now, like, the last episode just seems like a cookie cutter, right? Like, this reminds me of the show Life on Mars.
Okay.
Which was this dope-ass cop TV show before the writer's strike. And basically the dude gets hit by a car in, like, New York in, like, 2015 or 2014 or whatever it was at the fucking time. And gets sent back to the 70s. But he ends up, like, at his old, like, neighborhood precinct where his dad and she used to work. And so he's, like, on patrol now as, like, the new cop. And he's kind of, like, meeting all these people. And, like, he runs into his mom and everything, you know, there's that whole thing because he grew up in a rough life and blah, blah, blah. But then they also brought in kind of like a Matrix, like, weird element. Like, in one episode, you kind of saw this thing, like, crawl out of one of the people he was, like, kind of supposed to find about what the hell's going on, right? So You got this cool kind of time traveler thingy going on. You're like, oh, sweet. Well, then the writer's strike happened, and they go, hey, man, we got to sum this up. So, hey, guess what? Everybody was just in homeostasis and happened to be sharing a fucking group dream, and they were actually going to Mars, so that's why the show was called Life on Mars, and they were an expedition team. And everyone's like, man, you kind of remember this thing in the 70s? And it's like, yeah, I thought I saw you. And then they, like, shows them all walking off. Like, that's what American Horror Story did by, like, throwing in this time traveler thing. It was just like, all right, here's our exit.
Right.
There it is, you know, like... And I'm not saying it's going to be a bad episode. Like, you could still make a good episode. I just feel like this was a cop-out.
Okay, so do you feel like, even though they introduced this, that this is another episode that really didn't take us very far? Still, this is another kind of episode you would get in a 13-episode series, like, where it does a few things, but it really doesn't... You have so much more we would hope you would tell us that you're not going to tell us. That, like, you're just not going to get it. We're not going to get it this episode tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think that's, like, one of the reasons, and I hate that we say this about American Horror Story, like, yes, the actors were great, the show was actually really good, I'm just disappointed by where the story went, or whatever, because it seems like every time around this number of a season, you know, because even in Cult, we were kind of like, hey, all right, they're crazy, but I see how they may spin it, and it just, like, never, it just kind of kept going down that weird, odd rabbit hole, right?
Right.
Well, now it's like they gave us truly great episodes, and then what you would expect, a climax to match some of that first third stuff you gave us, almost seems like it's impossible to do now because of, again, this episode not really moving anything. Yeah, we see how Michael wiped out the witches, and so now we kind of get how the other ones ended up in these, you know, silos that were built because the co-op, the Illuminati, blah, 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 like, built it. But again, like, it's just, you get the whole scene with, like, Mallory, and now you know, like, that's the only thing they can do. Like, that's their only chance is to go back before, because he's literally too powerful now.
Right.
And
right.
And the fact that he's going to set off some world-ending event. And I hate that, like, this episode ends with them, like, turn to page 6, basically. right? With him, like, of how the construction of these silos is going to build. So in the last episode, let's say they even did a 24-hour crew of like 1,000 people. I mean, you're still talking about the way those things were built, you know, months of construction. So now, like, we have an hour episode that's 4 or 5 months are supposed to go by in.
Right. You have to have all of Dinah's show has to have happened and also gone off the air because she was already off the air by the time the apocalypse happened.
Yeah.
So you have her 13-episode season that was greenlit. It has to happen. You have to send the girls with their... You have to still have to cast a spell on Mallory and Coco. You have to then hide out. He has to enact his full plan of touching the right person with the right button and getting them to set off all the nukes. We have to make major time jumps, which, as much as we've jumped back and forth, I'm not even sure... The timeline has been so crazy for so long, I don't even know where we are anymore in this. So, yes, there's so much time we have to cover, and if they're going to cover it in short snippets, it's gonna feel rushed. Like,
yeah, like, and I don't even
be like, next week, 5 weeks later, 13 weeks later, now it's this, and now it's like what, and then we have to go back to the outpost, which we already had an 18-month jump there, like from being at the outpost and all the carnage and all the zombies and all the other things. It's just like,
well, and he killed Dinah with the glass shards in the house when he came in, and like Miss Mead starts murdering all the witches.
You're not Dinah, not the voodoo lady.
No, not the voodoo. What's the old lady's
Queenie.
name?
Oh yeah, Bubbles.
Yeah, Bubbles. Like, well, but then like she's also in the silo, and like he doesn't remember her.
No. She's playing two different characters. Like Evan Peters is playing different characters.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. Well, because okay, got it.
Yeah,
got
one's
it.
Bubbles,
Okay.
one is Evelyn. I believe her name was Evelyn, the original character she played. What's his name's his grandmother. So
Yeah,
Evie.
okay.
Evie Gallant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. I totally
that's okay.
forgot.
It's okay. Trust me. It's hard to get a hold of the whole time.
Yeah, no, because that whole episode when I saw that scene, I just like my brain broke. I went, so you're like, I get it. He's like a teenager struggling. Like, I don't know what to do, but Daddy wants me to be evil, so I'm gonna be evil. Like, you know, somebody help me and give me a guiding hand thing. But I was like, you're telling me you can't remember a one lady that you like swore to kill? Like that person doesn't still just stand out in your memory?
Right.
You know, like I was so mad for so long because I was like, I'm glad you pointed that out to me because that makes way more fucking sense.
Yeah, just a little bit. But okay, so yeah, and my opinion is that, and I've said this from the beginning of this episode, at the beginning of this season, is if you're going to do a 10-episode season, I love 10-episode seasons, but you have got to pack a lot of information into every episode to move an overarching story along, and there have been too many episodes of this 10-episode season that haven't really gone anywhere. This one, yes, it got hit. We got to see what happened to the Coven, and that was literally it. And you got to see like who actually orchestrated everything in general. And some of it may not even make that much sense by the time you think about it for long enough. But I don't know. So and then the time travel thing, and of course this episode was a shorter one as well. It was only 38 minutes long, as like that other one that I complained about that nothing happened in it, and it felt like it was over before it even began. You didn't have an extra 5 minutes of footage for anything, so this was a short one as well. So I don't know. We'll see. Tonight, I hope that we come back on the mic for our next episode to review episode 10 and completely hate ourselves right now, but as we're going, I don't know how they're going to wrap this up without it feeling like it's been either not wrapped up at all, or all the information to wrap it up has been crammed down our throats, or the next episode's like an hour and a half long, which could also happen. You never know. It's not listed as that on IMDb, but I'm not sure if they actually give them the right numbers out of the gate anyways. And it is FX. So just like back in the days of Sons of Anarchy, if I feel like going to an hour 15, an hour 20, you're going to do it because what else are they going to watch on your show? Nothing on your channel, nothing. So just take my long episode and play it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope we just come back and we're like, yep, we're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to be like that. Like, yeah, like I don't want to guess your show.
Right.
I mean, I want to guess it, but I want to like get one or two things right and be like, yeah. And then the rest I want to be like, oh, damn, you son of a bitch.
That's right. That's why you do that for a living, and I don't. Right.
Yeah. But like this show, I just feel like the way they've done it, they've put themselves into a corner. Like all you can have is Michael playing, the witch's plan, and then what we're going to get is like a quick fast forward to where we were at. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to do some hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft. Like, you know, everybody's going to join forces. Mallory's going to go fucking back in time and like.
So, okay, so let's talk about that real quick. If you're going to go back and stop Michael, when do you stop it? Because okay, let me put it this way. Because you had the cast of the original season there for a shoot, do you film a scene where, like, she goes back and stops the conception by killing somebody, or stops the birth by killing somebody, stops the baby? Like, is it one of those, like, do you go back in time? Do you kill baby Hitler? It's one of those things.
American Horror Story will do it justice. I feel like if they do this part, like, they're going to make it a decision. And I don't even think they're going to do it as a baby. Like, it's going to be when, like, Michael's, like, 3 or 4, right? Like, when he can really look at her and be like, kind of like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I don't understand. You know, like, they'll give you that kind of kid look, so you as a viewer, and especially as anyone who has any empathy for children in any way, shape, or form will go, dude, that's fucked. I mean, I know he's going to ruin a lot of people, but dude, that's still fucked. Like, you want to live with that shit? Like, right. Ooh, right? Like, I'll give American Horror Story enough credit. Like, I feel they'll do that. Like, I don't think it'll be zap her back and then, like, her over the crib and, I don't know, fucking... I feel like she'll have to do magic. I don't feel like it'll just be, like, stab the baby or smother the baby or something like that. Like, I feel like if they bring a baby into it, it's got to be like that. You see the shadow and you hear the, you know, bullshit or whatever. But if it's a kid, man, like, you're going to get that, like, they meet in the hallway. She sees him. He sees her. Fucking camera pans both, like, and then all of a sudden, like, wide pan out for somehow in a narrow hallway, and like you see both of them and you're like, oh fuck, man. And then the kid's just eyeballing it all up, but he's like, he's there enough to know that she's there to fuck with him, so his like instincts kind of take over, and she's got to do some nasty shit to a little kid to fucking save everybody.
I want her to do what Scarlet Witch did to all the robots in Avengers 2, where she was just like ripping them in half in midair. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want. Just tear, or I want it to be a death scene like in Departed.
Fucked up, man.
I'm just saying, the kid's got to be good. The kid's got to go somewhere, some way, shape, or form. Sorry, I want it to be like half the deaths at the end of the Departed, where it just came out of nowhere. So like we literally go back to, I don't know, maybe like the Black Mass or something, and like as he's like, yes, my father, and then like all of a sudden like just a bullet hole in his head, and then like he just collapses, and you're like, okay, problem solved, and just walks out. I want it to be like something fast, but you're just like, I didn't get that. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We will see shortly, and I'm kind of excited that we're talking about this now and gonna get to watch it. Like I get to watch it like right away. You won't watch it till like we record the next episode like 3 or 4 days from now, but still.
Yeah, I'll watch it like 7 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it wasn't that bad of an episode.
All right, so let's get into episode 9, titled Fire and Rain, spelled rain as in reign of terror, not like water rain from the sky, as opposed to wherever else it would come from. But yeah, so Fire and Rain. The first scene we run through, we're back at Mutt and Jeff's tech company. I'm not sure they have they actually named. Do you ever heard a name of it, of whatever their company's called? Later on, I listed as like Mutt and Jeff Inc. because I don't even know what their company is.
If they did, it was when they were given that whole like fucking Tesla spiel kind of shit, but I don't think they ever said their name. We were just led to believe that is a Google-esque,
right?
You know, Apple-esque, you know,
type.
Basically,
location.
Hey, dude, all that shit that's in your hand, in your home, they're all satanic. Just so you know.
Yep. So Jeff's working on one of his disembodied arms, like it's motion to fire a revolver, except he's got it like pointing at his head, which I thought was kind of funny. Like it's just this little hand just like clicking off rounds like right at his head. He's having what can only be called a rough day. Like he's bitching about the Wi-Fi going out, and his coffee took 5 minutes, and there was traffic, and people suck, and his buddy's trying to calm him down, like, dude, just like chill. And the fact that Michael, when they met him, is like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, that pisses them off because they're ready to because they don't like the world or whatever. They're ready to usher in the apocalypse. But, they're like, maybe we should do it. Like, we should be the ones that start the apocalypse off and everything. And they're like, yeah, let's, we could actually work on that. So Miss Venable comes in, reminds them about the cooperative meeting that's happening. And we see here that she, at this point, knows nothing about the cooperative other than the name. She knows nothing of what they are, who they are, what it means to them, what it could be for her. So the way that she carried herself at the beginning of the season, in the future, she hadn't been working for them for that long, hadn't known about it for that long. The way she talked, she acted like she worked for them forever.
Well, she was.
For the two of them, but I mean for the cooperative itself, like knew about it, like deep details of it.
Who, Miss Venable?
Mm-hmm.
You thought she knew about the cooperative?
For the the way she carried herself at the very beginning of the season, like when she was running the outpost, the way she talked.
Well, that was because she was carrying herself like that because the dudes were like, you can do whatever you want. No one's going to tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was just a person with unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
Yeah. Who's like never been given that and was like, I've been shitted on my whole life. So guess what? Everybody's going to go by my rules or it's going to be really fucking hard. Yeah. Like, I just think she was a
power hungry or
bitch, to say the least, because of someone going, you can do whatever you want. No one will be there to check you. And two, probably her dealing with those two most of her life of like, hey man, go get us the fucking Canadian hookers or whatever it is.
The
weird
Mile
shit.
High escorts.
Yeah, like, now that she's in charge, it's just like, we're going to do things my way. And I feel she was already a very hardcore type A personality to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which you would have to be to keep those two jokers in any kind of remote, like, get in the plane, you're flying to Belize. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would have to be a very hardcore type A personality. Right. So, yeah, I feel like Miss Venable was just kind of high strung from the get go.
I got you. I hear what you're saying. When they keep telling her, like, hey, don't forget, when you go get our plane tickets, make sure you get those Mile High escorts. And she tells them that, you guys can go do it yourself. And she storms off, and they're like, she'll be fine. She'll be, she'll get over it. But then that's when it gives Jeff the idea that doing it yourself, like, that's how they could deal with Michael. So they're like, okay, we have an idea now. So we'll get back to them in a minute. So at the Robichaud Academy is the next scene, and we see Mallory. She's she's sitting at the dinner table with a dead bird on the plate, which I don't know. I'm thinking you could do that other places to be more sanitary, but she's trying to bring the poor thing back to life, and it's just, you can tell she's giving it her all, but it's not working right now, and she's getting real pissed off at herself. And Cordelia and Myrtle walk in, and they're telling her that she's pushing herself too hard, too fast. And she's like, I have to be able to do this because Michael will be coming. And then this is when Cordelia lets us know that she put the house under an aura shield, so no one can get in, no human or anybody that's not a witch can not get in the house. So that's, we're like, okay, well, good. Everybody's safe. Just as long as you stay in the house, you're safe, right? That's what they're all being told, the academy.
Well, I thought that's what they were all doing when they were all chanting around those bowls.
I think it was some form of helping it, but at least Cordelia here said she'd already put the shield up. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they were helping to, because what they were doing was a Guardian's Chalice, which they were going to have, like, I think they're actually going to make, like, those trinkets would have been, like, individual protecting, like, bags of shit. You, like, put them certain places to make things more, I forget. They kind of go into it, but I don't remember exactly what they were saying, but the shield on the place was already up, which is why Dinah had to come do her thing. So you're right. So Zoe and Queenie are teaching a class, or they're getting some stuff ready for more defenses. Bubbles is there. Zoe's telling everybody that you can't keep all the bad stuff at bay, but and Bubbles is like, yeah, like the clap at Plato's Retreat, which Plato's Retreat is a like 1970s like swinger type location from it's a swingers club in New York back from like 77 to 85. So I love all the references they give her at any point. But Queenie's also passing out the chant as Zoe's talking about what's in the chalices in front of each of the witches. And as they're doing this and you hear them start to chant up, Dinah approaches the front door and she just starts, for the lack of better terms, doing some voodoo shit at the front door. And when she finishes, the door opens. So she's broken through the aura shield and whatever else is in place at the house, which it lets Michael and Miss Mead come around the corner of the house and they approach it. And then the next shot you get is like the two of them, Michael entering the room that the girls are all chanting. The way he comes in there, he's just like,
I told Cordelia what I was going to do to all of you. I have deaths to avenge.
And like that's when it just shit hits the fan. Like Zoe gets all the
he tells them their little spell didn't work, because I think the shield wasn't all the way up. Like they needed that last little piece to make it impenetrable, and the fact that the voodoo happened when it happened is almost like serendipity. Like, all right, you got in there just in the nick of time to get in there and to kill all the witches as they're kind of doing the one thing that may have kept you out of this house.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just cheesy. and then even like I just it bothers me that he's so scared of these witches. And like, I mean, I know they get mowed down by Miss Mead's like hand cannon, like literal hand cannon.
Mm-hmm.
But like their only reaction was to throw glass at Michael real quick, which obviously he's going to be like, oh, hand, talk to it. And then it's going to fucking stop. Like, he's super strong, but you're telling me you guys couldn't have like thrown Miss Mead across the fucking room or like bent her hand, like gun thing, like, cause to me, then you're just kind of useless witches. Like you really are. Like you really need time to like do or fix or save anything, because this chick basically just rolled up like anybody would do on a hit and go, I'm just going to fucking open up fire on everyone to get to the one person I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I mean, and we've said
they just
this.
go down. Like, it's hard to think that only Mallory and Cordelia out of that whole group of witches are really the only two witches that could have been like, oh, bullets, no, don't hit me. Like, Queenie tried to do the whole slit the throat thing, but that would have been cool. But like, why wouldn't any of you have like cut the gun arm?
I just thought about that earlier.
You
while
know
you were
what I'm
talking
saying?
about it.
Like, I just hate that this scene just painted that whole table of witches like just utterly helpless to a gun. And I know there's probably some fucking symbolism to that, given this show's stance on a lot of things.
Right.
Like I understand that, but also it's kind of like, man, you guys have kind of been painting these witches as a group of badasses. Like we saw the warlocks throw other warlocks against the wall, and even the quote unquote weakest witch is stronger than the most badass warlock. So none of them knew how to like force push anything.
Yeah. I
like,
get you. We've said it numerous episodes that warlocks and witches do not have defenses ready at a whim. Even when John Henry, is that his name? Like when he got killed by Miss Mead, like you don't have some sort of like defensive, at least like you said, like a push or something to at least get the threat away from your general location, and something. You're right. No one has any sort of defense,
or it's like they just forget they can do that, because like they've done it when they've wanted like objects moved or like another warlock out of their way to demonstrate their power. And I get it, maybe like if Miss Mead like snuck up on you and like stabbed you, right? Like I'm not saying warlocks and witches have a spider sense, but I kind of feel like they should be a little better in tune to surroundings in a general basis. Like they should just have better vibes with everything, right? Unless you're just a witch that's like learning the ropes. But all of these witches, I feel like, should just kind of have that spider sense. Like, especially now knowing that at any given time Michael's gonna do whatever it is that Michael's gonna do. Right. Like no one seemed to be on high alert.
Yeah, we were working on guardian chalices as opposed to like working on defensive or offensive magic.
Yeah, well, even then, like, why wasn't that like one of the first things? Because we obviously know some time has gone by.
Yeah,
you know, since all this has happened, it's
at least a few days or a day, at least something.
Yeah. It just, I don't know, man. Like, again, it's like we're gonna make this group of people dumb just for story's sake. All of a sudden,
right? It doesn't stand well to have some of the witches already trying to fight them off.
Because the bookworm witch, I can't remember her name.
Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe. Like, Zoe, based on what we've seen from Zoe in all of this time Zoe has been on TV, like, she's been very on point with kind of things you do in general. Like, she's just the witch you ask, hey, man, I need, like, a love spell. Oh, go check aisle 6. Like, she would have been the person that already would have had Cordelia, like, hey, yo, charm this fucking house up. I've got these bags, like, waiting to go get planted everywhere. I need you to drop your magic shield. Like, let's get this. Like, she's not ill-prepared. And this was just like, they were like, again, not taking a dude who walked into hell and rescued 2 of their own serious.
Right.
Like, and I hate that they were just, like I said, written dumb for story's sake at this point in time. Like, you guys all have to die because Mallory's going to need her, I don't know, like, piece to pull from, you know, when she needs to find that inner reason for doing it. I'm not strong enough. No, but your sisters died for you, you know, yeah, like, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. So you're right. And he does the Matrix stop and throws all the glass at everybody, and so they're all supposedly dead. And if not, Miss Mead then pulls out her machine gun arm, which, okay. Like, at this point,
I love how I did like how she got a little quip in there, like, I'm built for this. And then just, like, twist the arm off. Like, as a dad who appreciates uber cheesy shit now, like, I went, whatever dude wrote that probably has a 5-year-old or 4-year-old at the house. And, like, at some point, he's tried to explain Die Hard to him and has been like, oh, I just need you to get a little older, man. Like, just, you're not there yet. Like, you can't watch it. And, like, this was his, like, shining moment of, like, boom, yeah. There's my tagline for this show.
Yeah, so Mead mows everybody down, kills all the witches. Zoe takes the first shot to the head. After Queenie does her neck slit, she gets shot. She cleans up the rest of the girls. The Cordelia and Mallory and Myrtle hear what's going on, but she's like, we can't let them get to you, Mallory. So Mallory wanted to go help her sisters, but she didn't let her.
Dinah, you are the package.
Right. And as Miss Mead is cleaning up, Dinah is checking with Michael to make sure they're cool. Like, we good? He's like, yes, your show's been greenlit for 13 episodes. You know, so she's like, she's good to go. She's on her way. They find out that Cordelia, Mallory, and Myrtle have escaped through like an open window or something. So they're gone. And Michael does, and this is where we get, like, after all this, like, badassness that he did, we get him throwing, like, another, like, teenager fit. And he's pissed that he didn't get to kill who he was there to kill. You know what I mean? We killed all these witches, and we didn't even get to kill the one we wanted to, so he's not happy, of course.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you just kind of have to expect that from him, right?
I mean, yeah, he holds his composure pretty well for a while, but at some point, it's going to slip back in the fact that he's really only like 7 years old.
Well, yeah, and he also, like, he only really acts like that when it's Miss Mead, you know, for the most part. Is when you only see those, like, little, you know, temper tantrums. I mean, there's really no other way to describe it.
Yeah.
But he also, again, as a parent, really, like, kind of gives you a vibe of a teenager. Because, you know, you're like, everything cool, man? Yeah, buddy. Awesome, sweet, great, good. Woo! And then, like, fucking school day goes by and come home and they won't talk to you. Like, you know they're upset about something. But it's like, do I ask him what's up? I mean, I do anyways, because I'm like, we got to talk about that shit, man. You got to let it go. But also you're like, I mean, I don't want you to be sad, but it's something you need to go through or whatever. Like, what do you want me to do? You know, and Miss Mead's just sitting there like, dude, you're thinking small. I mean, of course, like, that's when you get, you know, fucking Mutt and Jeff.
When they're talking through Miss Mead.
Yeah, like, you know, passing the story along. And it's so funny that I don't know the rules for gods and devils, right? But I guess maybe in their agreement, they were like, hey, man, you know, no interference once the game's going. You gotta let your kid play it out. What happens, happens kind of deal. Because, I mean, I know the devil wants the world to end, so maybe he's like, all right, this is cool. Mutt and Jeff leading the way now. Like, it'll get Michael where he needs to go. I approve of this message, you know.
This message is brought to you by
but like,
your
you're
Lord
telling
and
me,
Satan.
like, no demonic messenger has been like, hey, by the way, you know, Miss Mead's a robot. You're going to kind of have to think on your own here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's just, like, a lot of these characters have to act the way they have to act for every little event that they've lined up to happen. Like, there's just no other way that that character can be portrayed at this moment in time. Because, like, if they were, that's the story wouldn't go remotely in the direction it's going now.
Right. Any one change from what we've seen, and it's not anywhere near where we are. The story just doesn't get told the same way. I'm with you. I do like how when Miss Mead, when Mutt Jeff asked him through Miss Mead, like, what's your plan? He's like, well, I was thinking since the girls are gone, I don't know how to find them. I guess we could take a step back, and I could be president. And he goes through like this whole story of like, I could first start doing this, then I'll volunteer here and this, and they're like, yeah. I love like Evan Peters' look. He's like, oh man, he's like, and then through Miss Mead, is that the plot of Omen 3? He's like, I don't have much reference material. Like, I have nothing. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I was laughing at that. That was good stuff. Like
it was a nice little quip. And then they tell him through Miss Mead, like, go back to the guys that made me. They knew what they were doing. They have ideas. Like, go ask them. He's like, okay, I'll go see them. So back at Mutt and Jeff's office, they're showing him like the list of the cooperative. Like, these are the people who are on the cooperative, and they start naming off people, and like it's Clinton, Bill, not Hillary.
Yeah.
And what he's really, so they also inform us now that the cooperative is what used to be called the Illuminati. So that was kind of I'm not sure if it was a needed twist, but it's like, oh, so it's like it was the Illuminati. They went through a name change, like they rebranded themselves or whatever.
Yeah, but like, by saying the Illuminati, like, it just piques everyone's interest, because the Illuminati will always be one of those things that you don't know if it's real.
Can never prove or disprove.
Yeah, and you can go look at it from one way and go, dude, that's just absolutely fucking crazy. And then you can listen to a little bit of the fucking, what
conspiracy
would
theorists?
be considered a conspiracy theory, and then kind of just look at some of the shit in the world today and go, it's really not that fucking far-fetched, man. Like, there could really be a group of people just pulling the strings on this shit at this point in time. You know, like...
That is a deep, dark rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah, and like, and when you associate anything with, you know, the Illuminati, or like another one that sparks all kinds of crazy interests is like Nazis in the occult.
Right.
And like what mysticism shit they were working on the side. Like, you know, because then you go, well, Hitler's not really dead then. Like, that's like the first thing you jump to. You go, oh, that motherfucker survived some crazy shit, you know, all the way. And then, I mean, it's even used in comics like Hellboy.
Go on.
You know, like, Hellboy was, I think, World War II, and basically, like, at one point, like, Rasputin is now a Nazi because he has, like, sold his soul to some kind of Cthulhu-like thing, right? You know, and he's bringing about the apocalypse of the third world, blah, blah, blah. But, like, one of the guys, like, that are all in their shit, it's like they all were part of, like, that super secret Nazi occult group, right?
Right.
And Hellboy was the U.S. counter-operative to the whole thing. But, like, yeah, like, what do we have? The Manchurian Candidate kind of thing going on. And then you have the Illuminati,
in this show. Like, I'm trying to think of like how many other maybe like little conspiracy things like they've like dumped in this now that I'm like actually thinking about it. I mean, obviously you have like a whole bunch of like throwbacks to old like Hollywood where there's just like stories upon stories about, you know, certain places and certain people. And I really wonder if like a lot of the shit she says is just from like her personal life.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm just going to speak the truth and no one will know otherwise. And there it is. But that one person out there is like, jaw just hit the floor.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. While they're explaining the Illuminati cooperative situation, they're letting her know, or they're letting him know that they're on the list. And at number 69, of course, that's the number on the list they had to have, I guess. And we also learned that all the cooperative people have sold their souls, so they've all, you know, done a black mass or whatever it takes to sell your soul. And they're all there waiting on the Antichrist, just like the Church of Satan, all that stuff. They're all just waiting on him to show up. And they're like, look, you're here. Like, you have to go meet them. Like, you have to go meet the cooperative. I do like when they drop the Bible in front of him and, like, you know, up until this point, they're talking to him like they're talking down to him almost. But then when they drop the book, like, he opens it, he doesn't touch it to open it. And then they both kind of like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot. Like, you can fucking you could kill me in any second. We'll back off a little bit, but yeah, I like that reaction from them. But they're explaining, you know, all the Revelation stuff, and look, just you need to go talk to the cooperative, and that's the whole point. Is like, go talk to these folks, which is we figured out because he needs to get in touch with these folks to start this mutual assured destruction. You know, this is when they talk about Russia's whole the Russia's dead hand, which I believe is a true thing. Like, it's one of those things like if one goes, then they're all gonna go, and we're all gonna go. You know what I mean? It's just all gonna happen. Like, if no one's there,
I feel like every military in the world has a contingency of mutually assured destruction, because it just seems like that, like, leaking through, you know, spy channels that this is here in China and Russia and England, Germany, America, you know, wherever. Like, it's the only thing stopping from, like, one of the other guys actually pushing the button, like, going, well, I mean, if there ain't nothing to rule, like, that kind of fucking sucks. I guess I'm all right with the piece of land I got now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of thing. Like, I feel like everybody has one, and it was just kind of like, hey, 009, go talk to your informant guys and just let this be known. You know, it needs to get to where it needs to get.
Yeah, it's.
But Russia also seems like the country that's ballsy enough to go, oh yeah, ours is real. Like, they'll put it in a newspaper, like, just to let everyone know.
Don't forget,
you will all die. Just that's what Russia does.
It's great living in a giant Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
Like, just all the time. It's all we live in, is a giant Mexican standoff. Whoever fires first, everybody's firing. Game over. But yeah, so the next scene takes place in, I don't know, some secluded cabin in a bayou, I guess, because they're down in New Orleans, so they're not like they're really that far away, but they are like out in the sticks. And it's Cordelia and Myrtle, Mallory, Coco and Madison are there. They mentioned that Misty is off gallivanting with Stevie, so her and Stevie Nicks.
Oh, they're at Misty's place. That's where that's at.
Is that Misty's house? That one there?
Yeah,
but that's what they ask where she's at, and she's okay, that makes sense. So.
Yeah, I was like, what's Shaq? I was like, Misty's house? That's where she lived.
Well, I don't remember. It's been so many seasons. I don't remember, but you're right. That is, she does live out kind of in the sticks. So Cordelia is like in some sort of trance. She's like ghost walking like back through the house and trying to like get her girls or find out the status of everybody. And so she goes and approaches Zoe's body, tries to do something, bring her body back, bring her soul back, and the body it doesn't even like fade away. It just like blinks out. It's just gone. Like the body just disappears, and she's like horribly distraught. She crawls over to Queenie, and the same thing happens, and she comes to from her trance in the cabin, and she's like, there's no souls. Like, there's no souls to bring back. Because they're not there. So it almost and this is when Madison's like, oh yeah, there was one part of when I went to Murder House I forgot to bring up, and that's the part where he also killed people who were just ghosts. Like, their souls were gone as well. And then we get a great Cordelia backhand, which are always fantastic. Like, anytime you let Sarah Paulson backhand somebody, it's great.
Yeah, man, American Horror Story fucking
loves letting her hit people.
Throws no punches with those slaps, man. They fucking swing some haymakers on them. And I feel like they're legit slaps.
It's like, no, hit me, Sarah. Just do it for real.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So Myrtle thinks that there is still hope, and she begins to talk about Tempus Infinitum, which is called the the infinitely is what it translates to in English. The spell is considered a myth because no one has ever actually been able to complete it correctly. In fact, when they do travel through time, they just die. Like, they don't come back from it correctly. They just die. But then she brings up the fact that when she watched Mallory bring that deer back to life, she didn't just bring it back. She had the power to change its past events, and she had the power to bring it back to make the deer go back in time to when it was a child. Like, the deer was a baby deer. So she thinks that Mallory has the power to do this, and they think that she can go back and save the coven. Like, okay, this is our one shot. She's our Hail Mary. So they draw a bath, and then we see, as they're drawing the bath, we flash back to 1913. Or no, I don't know if we flash back at this point, but 1913, St. Petersburg. There's a tricentennial celebration. Russia is united under the Romanovs, and they're kind of given the backstory. And then in 1918, you see that the whole entire Romanov family is executed in like their basement. So you see the whole scene play out normally, like how it did before anyone tried to change the time on it. And so we see what they're going to go back and try to change. So you see the whole family is awoken, taken to the basement. Anastasia Romanov has a trinket that she had, a necklace she brings with her, and when she goes down there, as Myrtle's telling the story, we find out that Anastasia was a witch, and she starts to do, like, when she's in the basement and the guys are saying they're going to kill everybody, she starts to do a protection chant, and it works for a hot second, but the gunfire like startles her and she breaks the chant, and then the wall falls and they kill everybody, including her. So, and then everybody, and that's how history tells it, is just the whole family was executed. So what they're going to do is they're going to send back Mallory to try to just save Anastasia, and that will be enough to not mess with the timeline, because, you know, God forbid, you're already going back in time, so you're going to mess up the timeline. Like, messing up the timeline is, anytime you do that, any time travel show you watch, whether it be Flash or like Back to the Future and that shit, you're gonna mess up the timeline. So, but they're like, yeah, we'll just save Anastasia and then we'll go from there. So,
well, they were like, because Cordelia and
Myrtle.
What's her face, Myrtle, were talking, and like they were like, well, how do we know it worked? And they're like, well, just news that the Romanovs survived, and history will prove that you changed events, you know? And it's like,
that's not how time travel works.
Yeah, right? Like, I was like, I like how you think by obviously this major family of influence at this point in time, like, surviving wouldn't have far-bending ramifications throughout the rest of time. Like, and let's not even get into the whole, like, insanely detailed and fucking mind-numbing rabbit hole you can get into of the butterfly effect. Mm-hmm. Like, that will break your brain trying to think of a scenario, like, because you can go fucking 2 steps and you're already at like 90 different outcomes, right? Like, it's fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
So they're basically like, nah, all the stuff will still play out. Like, they'll just survive. Like,
just the daughter will survive.
Like Siberia will be like, all right, you guys get to go live out in the snow-capped mountains. Carry on. Mm-hmm. Like, no one else is going to hunt them down later and like murder them again. You know, kind of thing. Or are they like, oh, just the fact that they didn't die on this day shows that the outcome was changed, but they die 2 days later. It's all good.
Even that almost is too deep for just the standard idea of time travel. Is that this happened back in 1913 or 1918. Myrtle may be old, but she's not that old. So you have everybody who has now lived this new timeline would have grown up knowing that Anastasia lived, so you wouldn't know that that the past changed because you would never have known the original timeline. That's why time travel is a rabbit hole. So they wouldn't even Cordelia or Myrtle wouldn't even know that Anastasia originally died.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, that's if you're doing time travel as a loop. Like, she could be assuming that time travel branches off in a tree, where in that main timeline, like, the news will still be there, so she'll see it, but the events actually branch off somewhere else, and then there's a whole nother parallel timeline happening, right? Like, from that moment on. So
my brain hurts.
Yeah, dude, it's fun rabbit hole to get in. I mean, if you really want to do some intense reading and be like, holy shit, some profound thought, get into time travel.
Dude, should we do time travel movies from now until Star Trek? Like for the whole season of Christmas? Should we do time travel movies?
As long as we don't do any Back to the Future films.
Can we do like Time Cop and shit?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's got to be like Time Cop.
Okay.
I love how we're just doing this right in the middle.
That's fine. I love that this is how our ideas come to us.
What was the movie with... Oh, shit, man. He's the kind of good-looking ugly dude.
That does not narrow down Hollywood.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. Time Machine. Because it's got... Oh, dude, as soon as his name comes up, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about.
Guy Pearce?
Yeah.
He is ugly good-looking. Okay.
Right? Like the rougher he looks, the better he is. Like, he's a dude that if he actually gets clean shaving and stuff, he just looks too much like a killer. Like, not in the good way. Like, not like killer, like, oh, like man, Dexter. He would protect me. Like, no, like, oh, he looks like he'll fucking chloroform my ass and drag me into a dark hole somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Time travel movies, but
not... How many do we need?
I don't know. We'll work that math out later, but we figured it out. Time travel movies until we run out of ones we want to watch. Hopefully it's by January 17th when Discovery comes out.
So we got Time Cop, Time Machine,
Ooh, what's the one with Bruce Willis and the
12 Monkeys?
No, that's one. 12 Monkeys, but no. Shit.
Well, what's the one with Stallone and Wesley Snipes?
Oh, but is that really time travel? Demolition Man? You're not? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean they travel in fucking time.
That's not time travel. He was in stasis. That's not time travel.
How the fuck is that not time travel? Did you not like go to bed at one point and wake up at a completely different era?
Yeah, but you didn't just appear there. You were just cryogenically frozen for like 100 years. That's different.
That's still time travel. That's still, like, what do you think?
That's Bob of the Barrel. I'm talking actual, like, what I was meaning was Looper.
So they can only go back in time?
Right. Well, yeah. Not just I've woken up in a new time because I was asleep for a long time. Not Rip Van Winkle type shit. We're talking time travel. Time travel has been created. Looper. We're going to watch Looper. That's Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So, have you ever seen Looper?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm still bitter about this time travel shit.
We have a plethora of movies to pick from. This is fantastic. I love it when we come up with this shit out of nowhere. Now my work is way easier. Okay, all right, so they draw the bath.
We gotta be coming to the end of this shit, right?
Say what?
We gotta be coming to the end of this thing, right?
We are. We gotta get we gotta get Mallory into the bath. The chant that Myrtle is doing over her while she's getting ready and while she's in the bath, like getting all hyped up, she's saying, "Infinity bath, give safe passage." That's what she keeps saying over and over again in Latin. And then the spell starts to work and Cordelia dunks her, like under the water. And Mallory arrives in the basement while Anastasia is chanting.
You ever seen Constantine? It's like when Constantine goes to hell.
Correct. except there's no cat. Which there should be because cats are already halfway over.
Oh no, it was more like when Constantine puts what's her face back to see her sister in hell. Mm-hmm. When he holds her under the water and has that whole like. God, I love that movie.
That may have to get added to our list when we run out of time travel shit. I love Constantine.
Yeah, They need to bring that TV show back too.
Actually, you're talking about the one that was on ABC or Fox or whatever for like one season.
Yeah, he's on like that Heroes show or whatever.
Yeah, he's now officially a main character on Legends of Tomorrow. So cool. I'll take it wherever I can get it. Same actor, same shtick, everything. It's perfect. It's just enough because everybody wanted him back anyways. And CW's like, we'll take you. Come on over.
Yeah, because he just voiced John Constantine in the animated movie City of Demons.
Nice.
That shit was good.
Yeah, that actor has pretty much said, no. He's kind of like the Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool thing. He's like, no, I'm Constantine. Like, I get him. He's mine. Wherever he goes, I'm taking him. So that guy, yeah, I'm not sure if that guy worked between the two shows. Like, he's like, no, I'm going to get Constantine back somehow. I'm going to figure this shit out. Because it was a great first step. One season was great. I know when the show stopped, like, they pretty much told him right from the get-go, like, you're cool. Like, you're going to be Constantine, like, whether it's voicing or something else. Mm-hmm. You may not have a show, but you are Constantine for at least an animated foreseeable future. Right.
And then that was cool. And then it was like he guest appeared on Legends Tomorrow, and everyone was like, fuck yeah, John. And they're like, all right, dude, we got to figure out a way to write this guy in. Like,
yep.
We're gonna help people out.
It sucks because the CW shows are good for their own right, but you can also tell when they only have a certain finite budget. So if you're bringing somebody new on, someone else is going to get booted or get like a supporting role, like whether you're not going to see them, but like here and there. So it's one of those things you're like, so this guy's going to suddenly not be involved as much and Constantine's going to be on. I was like, I can handle that. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to go, right?
Somebody's got to go. All right, so yeah, let's blow through the end of this. So Mallory arrives in the basement. She helps Anastasia with her chant. The chant in English translated is "Avoid an evil that threatens us," is what they keep chanting over and over again. So it makes the shield. The shield works for a while, like for a good longer time than it worked the first time.
Like, in the first time the shield worked, the pistol dude, like, fired off his pistol, like, 4 rounds or something, and they were all like, what the fuck? And then it faded, and then everybody opened up fire. And then this time it was basically like, pistol dude fired a little bit more, and then everybody unloaded, and it stopped, and everybody was like, oh shit, and you're kind of like, yeah, all right, it's gonna work. There's their little stamp, and then that wall faded, and basically the whole massacre scene just replayed again.
Exactly.
And then credit to Mallory, like, wakes up from the tub, going all fucking stigmata, like, bleeding from the eyeballs and the mouth and, like, everything. And her only words were, I gotta get back. I gotta get back. Like, damn, dude, you just got lit the fuck up and traveled through time, and you're all like, throw me back in the tub, man. Like, we gotta get on this shit. Like, I gotta try again.
Yeah, that was nuts. Like, as she was fading out, like, the guy was, like, driving the bayonet, like, through her. As like she disappeared right as he was stabbing Anastasia. It's like, oh man. So
you imagine that guy though? Like, I have no idea. I mean, what it's like to kill anybody, either self-defense or like an act of war or anything like that. But I imagine the guys that were in that crew had probably killed quite a few people and are just very hardened men. Mm-hmm. With not a whole lot of empathy or anything for anyone.
Right.
And I imagine that even the hardened men like that still probably have some dreams about people they've killed. But can you imagine that guy's nightmare now where, like, one day when he's older and realizes life's important, he's having all these fucking dreams. The one that's going to flash back to him is, like, as he's driving the bayonet into some young, blonde-haired, blue-eyed female who appeared out of nowhere, miraculously just evaporates and disappears around his bayonet. Is like, that's going on. Like, that dude is fucking wrecked for multiple lifetimes mentally. Like, he will never, like, they all walked out of the room like, man, Tom, did you see that shit? Tom's like, I don't know what I saw, dude. I just know the people are dead. And, Jeff's like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about, Chris? Like, we just killed some people. No, dude, our bullet stopped. We didn't see that shit, Chris. And then that guy's over there fucking babbling in the corner about the girl that disappeared and blah, blah, blah. And now the whole crew's like, dude, we might have to put old fucking Kyle down. Like, that guy, we can never speak of this shit again. Like, we can't make it. I want to know about their story now. Like, that's right. American Horror Story, the fucking Russian Crusades or some shit. I don't know. Like, that guy's fucking ruined.
Yeah,
man.
that whole crew is gonna be messed up forever. So the last thing at the house, at the cabin, Cordelia and Myrtle are talking on the front porch, just kind of like going over what happened with Mallory, about how she's able to go back and pierce the shield, and you know, Cordelia said, I think I should do the sacred taking, which is like where she like voluntarily gives over the rest of her power to Mallory, so she can already be the strong, like she can already be the supreme and all the strength that she could possibly have. And at this point, one of them says that they don't need to stop Michael right now, just postpone him, which I'm not really sure. I guess they're like, look, we don't need to stop him now. We can let the apocalypse happen as long as we take our shelter, and then we can send Mallory back when she's ready. So she's like, you don't have to die yet, Cordelia. Just wait. Let's protect everybody, which is pretty much just setting them up for putting the spell on Mallory and Coco and putting them back into the world and making sure they get to one of the outposts or making sure they survive somehow, which I'll be interested to see. Like, we already know the spell happens and we already know how they get to the outpost. Now, what I want to know is how that perfect domino effect was kicked off by the witches, like how they made sure that via the spell or whatever that they would be ready for the outpost stuff and that Mallory would stay with her. Because Coco's dad had the outpost already, so she was already there. I don't know. There's a little bit there you got to tell me about the outpost stuff and how they got Mallory to stay with her, even though her initial reaction during the apocalypse was like to go be with her family. It's got to be in the spell somehow. Like, you can never leave her side, no matter how much you think you want to. You'll always find a way to stay with Coco. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they probably just were like, they'll do something like this where they'll be like, okay, this will conceal your identities to you and others known. It will also be an interlocking spell, so you will always be pulled towards each other.
Right.
Like, because she's going to pretend to hate you, and you're going to pretend to be her slave. So any person in their right mind would have had enough of that shit, so we're going to have to put something to make sure you guys don't fucking leave each other.
Yeah. And they also, the witches also say they want to bring the warlocks into their plan, and so Cordelia and them go back to the boys' school, and they're all dead. And they're not just dead; he's like torn the arms off the students and made them encircle, and then there's like a pentagram of like other bodies plus Behold's and John Henry's, whoever was left. They're all there making a pentagram in the boys' room. They're all dead. They're all fucking dead. I don't know what else. I was like, you want me to keep talking?
Okay, so if you watch the show, to any of our listeners that watch the show Hannibal, there was a scene in one of the episodes when they're tracking the serial killer, and it takes place in like a grain silo, and if you look down from the top of it, there's all these bodies laid out in the grain silo, and it looks like an eye, and they're all like stacked upon each other and stuff like that. If you remember that scene from Hannibal, you will be thoroughly underwhelmed with this scene from American Horror Story, because like they went into like some grave detail with the stitching and all that stuff. Like, this would be like if you had a bunch of mannequin arms and stuff and everybody threw some sleeves on them and cut everything directly at the seams, so it was a nice like cut and not a tear or anything, and then just made a circle and was like, all right, everybody lay in the shape of a star.
Yep.
Like, that's what this was. Like, I know it was all supposed to be like, Hail Satan and like, oh shit, but if you're gonna do some body like decorating, art. Body art, decorating, like, you got to step it up to that Hannibal level.
Yeah,
like if you're gonna do it,
if you were staring at it from the side, they were like, were they even like suspended certain ways? Like they were just
they were all just piled and like stitched together so that like they couldn't roll,
right,
and stuff like that, and they all like died basically stuck, stitched to the next person holding their line in the basically of what would be a pencil line. And the guy was so fucked up in the show that everybody was stitched together at certain intervals so they were shaded correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, yeah.
I have to go back and watch that scene now. I forget.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
so if you were like a fan of Hannibal and how the serial killers decorated and did the death detail in that show, like, this body art will be severely underwhelming for anybody that watched that show. Like, you'll go, I mean, if I was a 6-year-old and into horror movies, that's how I would have made a pentagram with bodies. Like, you know, like the fact that like they were all still clothed, like if they would have been nude to some degree, you know, or like shirts just ripped apart and like things hanging out of them. But this was basically like almost like he killed everybody. And then Miss Mead went around and just used super strength and pulled everybody's pieces off and then was doing what a mother does and neatly laying them in a circle and then picking up the one body and moving it while Michael was over there in the corner, like reading a book. Like, are we done yet? Is my picture painted? You know, kind of thing. Like, at no point do you get a vibe that this was Michael just walking in and being like, I am fucking hell, you know, and then like everyone's just like, and, you know, fucking ripped apart. Like, cause like that scene where he squeezed his hand and killed the cop, that was cool. But I don't think Michael went in and like squeezed his hand like Darth Vader or some shit and dropped all these people. Like, I almost feel like there was another massacre and then Miss Mead went around and neatly organized the bodies. And the only reason I'm saying that is because of Michael's personality so far. Like, it just seems like that would be something that he would do. Like, I need to display a message, but what do I do? Like, I want them to know. And then, like, fucking Jeff and Mutt are going like, dude, pentagram with the bodies, right?
You know they were writing that shit. They were writing that code as it happened.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of cheesy. Like, it would have been cool if it was a pentagram on fire with just heads on pikes.
Anything. You're very underwhelmed. You're very underwhelmed with the whole body artwork. So yeah, okay. Well, I mean, you're right. It wasn't that impressive.
Go back and look at it again, and then just think about it from being like this kind of like, I don't know what to do teenager kind of thing after you just killed everybody. Or Miss Mead kind of helped shoot everybody. Like, I could see him going like, I need to leave a message. You know, like,
you pick whatever you want it to be. I don't care. I mean, yeah, you would expect something better from the Son of Satan. You would expect it to be a little more horrific. You know, even it's just arms, big deal. Like, I want the bodies. You know, you're right. We have serial killers who can make a better morbid artwork than the literal Son of Satan.
Yeah.
Right.
Like to me, if you're gonna do a body part pentagram, like, that shit should look fucked up. Mm-hmm. Like, it shouldn't look like I said, mannequin arms, and then you and a bunch of your friends dressed in black suits and like, because like there wasn't even like, I don't recall, but I don't remember like there really being like pools of blood on the ground.
No.
You know, I kind of feel like it would be a little more messy affair with limbs ripped off and things like that. Like, it would have been different if the arms were a circle and then all of the bodies in the middle weren't just laying in the most convenient way you would think to lay down and make a star with how many ever bodies they had. Like, if everybody was contorted in an odd way to then make the angles to make the star, like, that would have been a little more of a mind fuck.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, there's so many more horrific ways to have done that could have really just like set it, like sunk it in that like, yeah, you're messing with the big bad. But now that I
kind of look at it from like a pouty teenager kind of view that like doesn't know what to do, but like needs help, and I can see Miss Mead and like the guys over there going like, well, you know, like, well, we killed everybody. That's what you wanted to do. No, I need a message. And they're just like over there spouting ideas. And finally, like, they just come to the pentagram of bodies, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
And now that I think about it like that, it just kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way she can't go back. Like, the only thing that's going to stop Mallory now from winning this in any way, shape, or form is, one, if she just can't kill a young Michael, and that, like, if that's the way they go, or they just write it so that even she is not powerful enough to make that spell happen or work properly when she goes back, and it just doesn't work because like the more and more I watch of Michael, unless Michael is in an utter rage and he's kind of just letting Daddy's gifts take over, he's really not that scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know he's a badass, but you also kind of know, like, you can get to him. And, like, when you know that you can get to somebody and throw them off their game, you're like, yeah, I gotta watch out for the guy because he's got a silly jump shot. I know I still need to pay attention to that. But if I'm talking shit to him all game and he doesn't like getting bodied, he's gonna start giving the ball up. Right? Like, you know that you can start flexing your muscle on this guy. And I kind of feel like the witch is at a certain point with how just wishy-washy Michael is. And I know they've only seen him come in and murder a whole thing, but like, they're gonna have to go, we got this. And Michael's just gonna be this petulant little child, and it's just gonna, and we're gonna see like a mama come and like smack the kid that got out of line. And there's gonna, and I wouldn't even be surprised now at this point if like Mallory pulls like the ultimate mother role and like goes back and puts something on Michael and then raises Michael.
Like instead of him growing up with the, it's like he's loved for real type thing.
Yeah, like he's loved for real, and like he's,
turns
I don't know,
from the dark
but like,
side.
Yeah, like not necessarily, hey, clued in, you're on the son of Satan, but you have these powers, this is what you do with them, you know, like kind of thing. And I know like it's all, Michael was rotten to the core from the get-go with the dead animals and all of that stuff, but like just Mallory being kind of who Mallory is, like I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of like
love aspect,
ultimate mother sacrifice that kind of like happens, you know, like we're intertwined now, kind of thing. And it would be crazy to me too, like if it was even where she puts a spell on, say, like the child where they're intertwined, so if Michael kills her, it kills him, kind of thing, or something like that, like as a, you know, basically as that like, kill me and my heart stops ticking, the bomb goes off at midnight kind of thing, you know, like.
I'm still holding out.
Know.
I'm still holding out that Coco has the last push that beats him. I'm holding out for it. I'm hoping that Mallory does everything she can, and the last little inkling that she needs to push to make the plan work, it's all Coco. And I don't know how, and I don't even care, but I want it to be Coco so bad.
Yeah, I just feel like all of those witches are gonna die, and either, like, they're all gonna die, and we're either not gonna see what Mallory does in the past, but then all of a sudden, like, they're just kind of there again, all looking at each other like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
And then they may break it down from there, because I don't know where I would go with the story.
Right.
You know?
And don't forget, we have to address Miss Mead's soul, because remember, Cordelia still has her soul hidden somewhere that Michael doesn't know as well. That has to be touched on at least at some point, either to piss Michael off, or like he knows he can't kill her, or he almost does, or he's getting ready to beat her and she reminds him that she has Miss Mead's soul, things like that too. We saw that's one other wrap up that has to happen. If not, it was done for no reason. Yeah,
and it could be that, or like maybe at this point, like that'll be Michael's, like, okay, you want me to be ruthless? You want me to, like, I am the son of Satan kind of thing? Like, he could just look over and go, I have Miss Mead. You know, kind of thing, where you were like, oh shit.
Ooh.
Really thought that would have been a little bit of more of importance, but I guess I figured if you wipe out everybody, you can just go find her if you're that all powerful.
Right.
You know, even though I know she's like said that even a place you can't find her kind of thing, but I could also see Michael going, if I kill all the witches, what's going to stop me from going through any time and space plane to go where I need to go?
Right. So let's finish out the episode. There's only two quick scenes. The first one is back at Mutt and Jeff's headquarters, and we see Miss Venable packing. So she's following through on her threat of like quitting and that she was done, and they don't accept her resignation. In fact, they let her know that the world is on its way to ending. She's kind of like, hey, what? Like, what do you mean? And so they explain the cooperative to her. They explain the outposts. So now we know kind of like this has kind of been a plan, but the fact that the Hawthorne School is one of the outposts means that it's one of the last ones that was added, I guess, because it wasn't an outpost until probably not yet in this part of the timeline, because there's still dead bodies all over the place. So it was not an outpost yet, but it's getting ready to become one of the outposts. And this is where they tell her that, hey, we want you to be one of the administrators of these outposts, and they give her that full control, the carte blanche to do whatever they want to, whatever she wants to run it however she wants to. So now we see like
going to tell you
her beginning of how we met her at the beginning of the show. So that's that. And then Michael and Meade they're at like some like old person resort. It's like elderly people all around, and I do like. Did you get kind of like a Nazi feel from his outfit he was wearing? Like a little bit of that crisp, like architectural lines of the Nazi outfit. Like I was like, you kind of got a little SS thing going there, bro. Just if I don't know if you're like pulling from it.
I don't know if Nazi's where I went with it, but I mean like I definitely got that architecture styling dress that is always associated with a Nazi America like takeover kind of thing.
Right.
Like I didn't go, oh, that screams Nazi. It's like, to me, I went like, that screams like dictator or someone who is going to make everyone dress the exact same way. Like, but right. Yeah, like it definitely has a Nazi vibe to it.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Here we see his youth showing again, like he's real hesitant. He's not sure, like, why are they going to listen to me? Like, I'm not sure if I can do this. And then Miss Mead's like, no, they've been waiting for fucking you. You get in there and show them who the fuck you are. You are who they're waiting for. So she.
Oh, and by the way, your daddy owns their souls.
Right.
So they work for fucking you. Go throw that in their face.
Right. So we get the meeting starts. He introduces himself as the Antichrist. And it was cool because, like, he did something. I don't think it was them, like, giving him the recognition. I think he physically made them all, like, straighten up and look at him, like, all at the same time. It wasn't like they did that on purpose. He did that himself to them. Like, I don't only own you, I have control of you. And he got them to all, like, fucking look at him, and then they all sat down. You know what I'm saying? And then he kind of like
my favorite part is when he's looking at them all through, because they're all wearing.
It's literally Cobra Commander.
Okay, you're going with Cobra Commander. I was going with Daft Punk. They're only black.
Okay, potato.
Yeah, but yes, everyone is in these helmets that are very streamlined with these like full glass covers, and everyone is in like a high turtleneck,
reflective glass covers, like yeah, reflective.
So you can't see. It's basically like one way looking glass on the heads, and everybody's dressed the same. But my favorite part is when Michael is talking to them, and then he starts individually looking at them and saying personal information about them, like your ranch. Your bunker underground could easily hold 40 people in Texas. Like, geez, you probably a bush.
Yeah,
right? Like,
right.
You know, like, but I, like, that was, to me, like, even though he made them all sit up and straighten, like, that was kind of like a group effort. But the fact that he went through the glass on them and picked out personal info about almost each one of them as he was just carrying on with his
listing
speech,
off what they owned.
Like, that was the most terrifying thing he did in that whole spiel, was like, don't ever forget, I know exactly who, where, and what all of you are, right? Like, you guys don't even know each other, but I know exactly who every one of you is. And then I love how he's like, turn to page 6, and everyone just flips those fucking books open.
Right. And so he explained, and he starts to kind of explain the outposts as well, right before he tells them to turn to page 6, but when he's talking about all the locations. So I'm not sure how many outposts were already established when Mutt and Jeff were telling, before this meeting. There must have only been a few, like, that they'd actually built, but now he's like, no, we'll expand it, and we'll have your location and the Hawthorne School. So this must be like the expansion, using these folks' property as well as what they've already built. other places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's it. That's how the episode ends.
Oh, and his pitch for them to do this is obviously you'll keep living
and bring your families. That one.
Yeah, and you guys are the right people, but also it was $100 million buy-in. So Michael's kind of also implying that, like, hey, we're gonna bring cash back, and you guys will be fucking king of the crops.
Right.
You know, if money's still in the power game, because it's gonna cost. Because otherwise, it would be like, hey, the whole, like, Adam and Eve couple at the very beginning. Like, Michael would have just went out and snatched who was what he considered passing subjects for the matter. Like, the only reason this money is being brought in, and I know it's supposed to be to build the structures and stuff like that, but everyone sitting at that table is in the top 1% of the richest people in the world, so building an underground bunker for 40 people, like, that wouldn't be bat an eyelash money to fucking any of them.
Right.
Right. So it's not like they really need the buy-in shit. So
God, you just reminded me how, like, pointless, like, the first few episodes are with, like, the Adam and Eve shit that we talked about, and, like, how that doesn't even matter anymore. Like,
yeah. Like, just those were your red herrings, man.
Really was. Oh well. So that's it. Next episode for us will be the review of the finale of American Horror Story Apocalypse. Still a better season than Cult by a far shot. I wonder if it will be, as it's gone on, you know, if it was going to be up there with one of the top seasons of the whole show. But it's definitely been an entertaining watch, not just for us reviewing it, but just for people in general when it comes to watching the show. Do you still consider it to be one of your top seasons as we're getting closer to the end? Will tonight's episode, the finale, tell you, you know, whether it's number 2 or number 6?
Yeah. Like, tonight's episode will really sway my opinion on the way this goes. Because, like, if it's this, like, here's a scene, fade to black, throw some white words. Here's the scene, fade to black, throw some white words. Here's the final battle. Like, I'll probably be pretty disappointed because I'm like, why? Just make it 13 episodes. Like, it's not like you guys were hurting for the budget, but you just went and put time constraints on yourselves, and then all of a sudden this really cool story you guys wanted to tell turned into a rush job.
Right. So if tonight's finale turns out to be amazing, where does that put it? Number 2 on your list, behind Murder House? Or no, behind Asylum?
Yeah, this still sits behind Asylum for me.
Of
like,
course.
I think Asylum was just a better story. Like, I liked it better. Like, this one was so cool, but ever since, like, episode 4, everything's been contingent on the next episode, and then it's like, here's a little bit, and I'm going, okay.
We don't have time for this.
You are in the plane. We're on a runway that just drops off a fucking mountain. Like, you gotta start pulling up here sometime soon, like, you know, and we're
Right.
running out of fucking room. And I just don't want it to be this short, like, hey, we wrap some of the pieces up because that's the thing everybody bitches about. But then again, I also don't want them to, like, not wrap up some things that are probably pretty important, like, you know, Miss Mead's soul and stuff like that. Like, I don't want that to be the one thing that
They gloss over and never talk about. Just forget it's there.
where everybody was like, oh shit, and then it's just one of those things that American Horror Story does and goes, nah, read about it in fan fiction. Right? Like, I don't, you know.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. You'll have our episode out a few days after this one goes down to talk about the finale, and we hope you guys tune in for that. And we thank you for listening this far in this one. This has been the Two Dads Review podcast, and we will catch you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye now.